It's time to show them.
Yeah.
You have now mastered the basic skills. It's time for your first challenge.
What's going on, everybody? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Make sure I got our sound working. Yeah, all right, we got the sounds working. Shout out to the chat. Get this thing out my ear. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. What is today? Wednesday? Is today Wednesday? I don't even know what day of the week it is, y'all. It's been a busy week. We'll get into that a little bit, you know. Yeah, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. Shout out to the chat. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day, whatever part of the day it is for you, whether it's in the afternoon, it's about 5:30 here on the East Coast. Maybe you're still in your work day finishing up. Whatever it is you're doing out there, hopefully it's a good one for you. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. The link is dropped. We're going to be getting into... Hey, y'all know what it is. We talking about the relationship stuff, man. And this time, really, I'm going to need y'all's help on this one. I got a couple things that I can share with you, but I'm going to need y'all's help because I can't speak from all of these different perspectives. But this is a subject y'all said y'all wanted to talk about. So I want to be able to provide it the platform to be able to have the conversation. So let me speak to everybody in chat. I do have manners. Shout out to Jamel Fareed in here early. Salute to you. Let's go, family. I appreciate you coming through. Mika in the building. What's going on, Mika? Wabbit Tube Clip. Shout out to Sis. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to all the entertainment we got over there on Wabbit Tube Clips today. Shout out to that brother for always keeping us entertained. Shout out to Lovelace in the building. What's going on, Lovelace? Hopefully you'll hit the link and be able to provide some perspective.
Oh, hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Hell is hot. Ain't no water there. No ice, no tea, no lemonade, no Coke, no Sprite, no Gatorade. Hell is hot.
Shout out to Lovelace in the building, y'all. Angelo J, salute. What up? Who else we got in here? Uncle L, what's going on? OG right there, y'all. Uncle L in the building. Who else we got here? Who else we got? Musso Bronze. What's going on, Musso? Shout out to Musso. Jersey, stand up.
Now listen, man, we all know Westside High School is where all the fugitives went. All the rebels. All the motherfuckers that rob shit. All the hoes. Like, let's just keep it real, man. Y'all, Westside had the hoes, man. All the jump-offs, the sluts, the skeezers, the scallywags, the trampolines, the diving boards, man. Man, everybody that went to arts, they feel like they was better than everybody. And you grew up to not be shit. Let's just keep it real, man. You know what I'm saying? All y'all got is Michael B. Jordan, man. This is the legendary Barringer High School. And the only reason it's legendary is because y'all had the bitches, man. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all had all the Spanish mommies. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing y'all was winning in. Y'all wasn't winning in nothing else. Basketball, football. Y'all was trash at that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Most of the Spanish dudes that moved on from here, they became the plug in Mexico. What killed me about science, man, is that y'all never did nothing scientifical here. You never cut a frog open. Y'all never created nothing. Like, what's the point of calling this shit science if y'all don't even do shit here? I'm saying, you know, we all know Malcolm X Shabazz is the best high school in Newark. That might be the best high school in Jersey. We ain't even gonna disrespect, but one thing I would say about Shabazz, niggas was a little zesty. Like, when I went to Shabazz, it was motherfuckers that was zesty as hell, bro. It was a nigga 6'8", extra zesty. Like, he was running the band and everything. Like, I'm talking about, bro, you didn't want to play basketball? You didn't want to play. I'm in front of Weekway. I gotta say, man, y'all stepped y'all game up to the max, man. You know what I'm saying? Academics, sports. You know what I'm saying? This is the only school right now that get good grades and they will whoop your ass. Like, they'll beat your ass outside the school and go back and finish doing their homework and shit like that, schoolwork and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Big ups to Weekway. Y'all really stepped y'all game up. I would say y'all the #1 high school in Newark right now. Y'all got it. Newark Tech.
Shout out to Musso Bronze in the building. Shout out to Jersey. Jersey, stand up. Fat T, good afternoon to you. Hopefully all is well. Who else we got in the building? Tesha Z's. Respect, blessings, Tesha Z's. Shout out to Tesha Z's being a member for 8 months. Let me find that. Shout out to Tesha Z's. Blessings to you. Hopefully all is well. What's on the menu today? We're talking about relationships, Tesha Z's. We're talking about relationships and talking about it. Oh, why is my joint locked up over here? What's going on? We're talking about it from a bunch of different perspectives. I don't know what's going on my StreamYard right now. Not wanting to work for me. Stilly Dan, salute. Flip. What up, Flip? Flip in the building, y'all. Y'all missed the Wabbit Tube clips earlier today. Then you missed the Flip impersonation of your boy. Shout out to Flip. Impersonator extraordinaire. What in the world is going on with YouTube, though? It is not. Let me see something. It's not allowing me to.
Now listen, man.
It's not allowing me to access my stuff over here. But that's all right. The show will go on. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. But well, dang, I wanted to put up the thumbnail. That's why I was going over here. But we're talking about relationships. We're talking about it from all different perspectives. I can only speak from my perspective, a married man, but people wanted to have this conversation. I know there's some singles out there who wanted to say some things from their perspective. Some people who, I guess, maybe feel like they're going to be single forever by choice. You know, that's their preference. And there may be some other people out there. I put a couple of other situations on the thumbnail: cohabitating partners, people who are committed to each other but living in separate places. There's all different types of relationship types out there. So if the link is pinned, if anybody wants to hit the link and speak from their perspective on any of the, subjects that we talk about, please feel free. Because like I said, I can only speak from the perspective of a married man. I've been married more of my life than I wasn't married. So, yeah, like I said, I've been married more years than I was not married. I've been married 24 years now, and I'm 46. So, simple math. I was 22 when I got married. I've been married 24 years. So, I mean, it's just that simple. For some of the people, and I mean, again, this is a subject that y'all really asked for. So I can only speak from my perspective. I need the other people to come and bring their perspective. I found some videos that, again, they're going to speak from a marriage perspective, and some of the things that I may be prepared for that maybe some of the people who are coming from those other ideas, maybe we're going to present, for their argument to say why they feel being married or being single is better. And I'm not here to try to change anybody's mind. That is not the intent of this. This is for us to have discussion, conversation, because the people asked for it. It's something that they wanted to hear, and so let's do it. JT Moneyman 410, what's good? Salute to you. Appreciate you coming in. So I'm just going. I got some videos. Again, it's going to be talking about stuff what married people do. Those are the things that show up in my algorithm. I don't have a single person's algorithm. I don't see, a lot of the things that single people would see, regularly. So here's just a little silly thing that married people do. I mean, and you don't have to be married to do this. People who are living together comfortably do this, let's say, because this can apply to any two people, heck, you ain't even really got to be a couple for that matter, but I believe this to be a couple. I believe them to possibly be married couple, but, they may not be. But just some fun that people have when they're living together. When you are living with another person that y'all have that type of loving relationship, let's take a look.
Please don't come in here. Stop.
I mean, y'all see what I'm saying? Yeah, it said wife, yeah, so they married, right? When my wife being too quiet. That's what it says. When my wife being too quiet, what this fool do? Run up in there, shoot her right in her damn head with a damn Nerf gun as soon as she said, please don't. Why? Because that's what you do. That's what you do. You fuck with your wife. Whenever she supposed to be chilling, trying to relax or whatever, you fuck with her. Just Jay in the building. Shout out to Just Jay. Just Jay, I can't play my drop because for some reason my stuff on StreamYard for my media assets have frozen up. I don't know why. Yeah. It won't. Everything else is working fine, but my media assets have frozen up. So but yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Again, you living with somebody.
Please don't come in here. Stop.
She couldn't even get it out. Please don't come here and start pop right in your head. Hush. Right in your head with a Nerf gun. See what I'm saying? I mean, that's some of the fun that married people have together. And again, you don't have to be married to have that type of fun together, but that's just some of the types of fun that married people have together. When you have somebody who you are living with, who you love, and y'all just do that type of stuff, Yeah, Lovelace, you froze up the whole joint. I played your drop and it is frozen right there. I can't even play any more of the drops or anything. That's all right, though. We got other videos and stuff to play. We got other stuff to play. But yeah, that's just, some of the little things. Here's another one. Just some of the little things that, as married people, you just experience.
In the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's just some of the stuff you experience, you know, when you're married. Reggie Red, salute, fam. Some of the stuff you experience, you know, you can't even roll over. You can't even roll over. She done got up and got all the way on the other side of the bed just to make you cuddle her again. Can't even roll over. Lovelace, I bet you be doing stuff like that. I see you laughing. I see you laughing. Don't laugh. It ain't funny. I bet you be doing stuff like that. Shit, what in the world? I bet you be doing stuff just like that. Look at Lovelace, y'all. This is how Lovelace probably be acting. Just like this.
In the world?
You look at her talking about ain't no sides.
That's more like it.
She's like, ain't no side of the bed. It's all my side. That's how Lovelace be thinking. That's exactly how Lovelace be thinking. Ain't no side. All this whole bed is my side. And whatever side that you turned on need to be the side that's working out for me. Nothing else matters, right? That's Lovelace thought, y'all. We know Lovelace. We know. You done broke my stream early on, too. We ain't even 15, 17 minutes in. You done broke my stream, Lovelace. It's all good. We don't need it. We don't need it. We know how to improv. We can do the show without it. Come on, hit the link, Lovelace. Talk your junk now. Talk your junk. Let me know. Am I telling the truth? Is that how women are? Is that how men are? Men play all the time. You know, want to shoot you in the forehead, and women don't share the bed. It's all their bed. Ain't no sharing because it's all hers. You just happen to be there, and part of your job is to cuddle her and keep her warm. Because my wife, she be cold all the time, you know, so half my job is keeping her warm. Okay, Lovelace. Yeah, half my job with sleeping is keeping her warm because I don't get cold, you know. I'll end up getting hot before I get cold, right? So, but yeah, half my job when we're sleeping is to keep her warm. So it is what it is. I mean, you know what you're getting into. It's part of what you sign up for, but it's a good part. It's a good part. Yep. It's a good part, y'all. All right, so let's I got some other videos that, are, on the kind of humorous side, but let's get into one that's actually talking about a real subject, those were real as well. But let's get into one that's talking about something a little bit, let's say, deeper on the subject, though. But again, I'm coming from a marriage perspective. I hope some of the people out there who are single or in any of these other situations, come and bring their own perspective, whether they have questions, whether they have their own input, whatever it is. I mean, it's open for dialogue. It's supposed to be a conversation, not just me talking to y'all, because I can't school anybody on how they can necessarily be successful in their relationship because I don't know their relationship. I don't know their partner. One of the main things I would tell anybody if I'm going to try to give them some advice about being more successful in their relationship is to spend more time learning their partner. If they feel like their relationship is not where they want it to be, spend more time learning your partner, learning your partner's wants, needs, the things that make them happy, sad, all of the different things. Spend more time learning how different actions and experiences impact your partner's emotions, because it is important. We talk about on YouTube, we talk about people being emotional, stuff like that, but emotions are a real thing and people are living with and dealing with emotions, and not everybody knows how to necessarily properly process their emotions. So your partner, no matter who they are or how good they are at dealing with their emotions, still have those emotions. And you, as their partner, probably have a little bit different impact on how those emotions are impacted than everybody else out here in the world. So again, spending more time learning your partner would be just the one overall type of advice that I would give just generally to a person if they were asking for kind of general advice on relationship building or whatever. Spend more time learning your partner. Now, get into the details and, learn more about your relationship. And then we can give more specific and detailed advice on things to work on, things that we've learned in books. Again, books, y'all. I'm always going to be speaking books because this is where we learn. We educate ourselves in books, all of these things. So, and these are workbooks. They're not just read a whole bunch of stuff and boom, you got it. No, you learn these things and then you have to put them into practice. You and your partner typically are going to be reading these books and going through these workbooks together. So you're both together practicing these things reciprocally. So you're seeing the results. You're seeing where maybe you all both need to adjust things, so again, learn your partner. That's the one overall just general advice that I could give if anybody was going to ask for just general advice. Spend more time learning your partner. No matter how much you spend right now, spend more time learning your partner. So let's listen to this first video. It talks about equality and respect. Now, we may have heard some of these before, but I tried to make sure that I didn't play anyone a second time again. And maybe not everybody was here in one of the previous streams where we talked about these. So let's listen to this first one, and then maybe y'all want to join the conversation on the back end.
Heterosexual relationships, when a man doesn't accept the influence of his female partner, there's an 81% chance that relationship ends. I'm not saying women don't need to do their part. I'm not saying men are the only problem. But I am saying we better be sure we're not making this fatal error in our relationships. Men, are you sharing power? Do you truly consider her an equal? Are you accepting her influence? Because if not, you're rolling the dice, and the odds aren't in your favor. And just to be clear, on page 233 of their book, Fight Right, Doctors John and Julie Gottman say, accepting your partner's influence does not mean simply collapsing into whatever your partner wants. It simply means being open to your partner's ideas. It means seeking to understand their feelings or perspective. It means humbling yourself enough to change your mind when new information is presented to you. Because the truth is, there's no room for pride or dominance in your relationship on either side. This thing only thrives on mutual respect and mutual consideration. She is your equal. Her perspective holds the same value as yours does. And of course this goes both ways. I'm just saying men in general, we tend to intentionally or unintentionally drift towards a more dismissive or dominant personality, and that path has a destination. And if you want to hear more about these conflict dynamics, I got the pleasure to interview the Gottmans directly with my friend Matthias. And if you'd like to see that interview completely free, of course.
So I wanted to let that play all the way through because I know some people get caught up in hearing what he's saying, and they hear him saying men. Well, number one, he's a man, so he's talking to men because he's a man, right? But he also, and it may have went over people's head because he said it after about a minute or so in there, he said the statement. But some people I know, their attention spans are really short and they get caught up on one thing and won't actually hear the full context of the statement, right? So a little bit in there, he said, I know I'm saying men, but this goes both ways. So everything he was saying, yes, he was speaking to men because in most cases, the men are the ones who need to hear the specific advice that he was giving there. However, it does apply to women as well. So for any man out there who was getting emotional about him continuing to say men, it sounded like he was quote unquote beating on men. That's why I wanted to let it play all the way through. And hopefully they stuck around and kept an open enough mind long enough to hear him say that, yes, this goes both ways, but he's specifically speaking to men because men specifically are ones who typically encounter that type of a problem or, encounter an issue with accepting their partner's influence and as an equal partner with them. So I'm going to play about from that part again, just so you catch it, and then hopefully you'll hear the rest of the message.
The link in my bio is presented to you. Because the truth is, there's no room for pride or dominance in your relationship on either side. This thing only thrives on mutual respect and mutual consideration. She is your equal. Her perspective holds the same value as yours does. And of course, this goes both ways. I'm just saying, men in general, we tend to intentionally or unintentionally drift towards a more dismissive or dominant personality.
Now, hopefully it was caught that time. And what he followed it up with, men in general tend to drift towards a more dismissive and dominant personality. Now, I don't think that any man out here who maybe the first time got a little bit emotional about hearing that and started to ignore it can deny that men in general tend to have a more dismissive and dominant personality. It's just common among just men in general. It's the way that society that we live in has been raised. You know, it just is what it is. So there's no reason to deny that, you know. So overall, the point being made is that we, as men, he's speaking to, but again, it goes both ways, have to be accepting of our partner as equal partners with the same amount of influence as us in a relationship. Heck, Money in the building. Shout out to Heck Money. And if you're not doing that and you are encountering just not the most happiest version of a relationship that you want to experience, then maybe that's the area of soul searching that you need to do. You know, are you treating your partner like an equal partner? Are you treating your partner like with the respect that your partner has the same amount of influence in this relationship as you? Whether we're talking about the household, whether we're talking about how you're dealing with the children, we're talking about how you're spending the money. Is your partner being treated like an equal partner in the relationship? And if not, could that be a major source of contention of why your relationship is not proceeding in the way that you want it to? Again, all just food for thought, because some of these things apply to a person that's listening and some of it does not. Some of it may have applied to a relationship of yours in the past, but doesn't in the current one. You know, maybe you learned from the relationship in the past. Maybe you didn't learn this lesson from the relationship in the past, but it was an issue in the past relationship. May not be as much of one in this relationship, but you're dealing with a different person. Again, each and every partner you have is going to be different. So the number one thing you can do is spend more time learning your partner, learning the things that makes them happy, sad, and everything in between, because their emotions matter and they're going to have them. And just saying, you know, why you and your emotions stop being emotional is not going to work. That's not going to be the thing that's going to get you anywhere when it comes to success with that partner. So again, just food for thought. I'm going to be, as long as I'm here speaking by myself, I'm only going to be able to speak from a man's perspective. I can't help y'all with a woman's perspective. I can't help y'all with a single person's perspective, cohabitating partners. I can't help you with any of that. I can only help you from a man's perspective in a heterosexual relationship. That's only so. I got another one. Again, and this is just lessons, you know, for men. And I'm not here to teach women. They can learn the same exact stuff. They can co-sign this stuff. They can tell me I'm wrong. But I'm here as a man and speaking from a man's perspective. So most of the time I'm going to be speaking to the man. You know, yes, I'm speaking to the women as well. But, you know, I'm trying to stay in my place. You know what I'm saying? I know where my level of knowledge and expertise is, and it's on being a man and the things that men do in relationships, right? So that's where my knowledge is. So that's where I'm going to speak from. Got another video. This one is again, it's lessons that some people know, and you know, most mature men do understand these things. Men in successful relationships understand these things because They've taken the time to learn, pay attention. It's a lot about being observant. Observing when you do something, what kind of response and reaction do you get? And if it's, not the one you want, then you may want to rethink that. This video kind of goes into some of that. So let's take a look.
I'm literally cleaning the kitchen right now.
What's the big deal? Gosh, you're freaking out over nothing.
I'm literally actively cleaning the kitchen. Why is that the time that you have to do that?
Gosh, why are you freaking out? I'm just showing you that I love you. You'd miss that if I stopped doing it. Hey, what are you doing? Where the heck did you come from? That's the wrong...
So as you see, this starts out, the guy's going in, his wife's in the kitchen, she's cleaning the kitchen. He goes in and tries to hug her from behind and, grope essentially her or whatever, it ain't the time. But so let's look at the other side of it now, because he's doing a lesson and he's going to teach himself a lesson here. He's making a point. It's a good video.
Wrong question, my friend. The right question is what...
I'll run it back just a little bit.
I'm just showing you that I love you. You'd miss that if I stopped doing it. Hey, what are you doing? Where the heck did you come from? That's the wrong question, my friend. The right question is, what can you learn about your wife right now? Right now, you believe your wife is overreacting, and that's why you're upset. You think that should be fine. What's the big deal? You're my wife. I'm just showing you affection. It's being ridiculous. Well, learn about your wife. You can be upset about those things, but your wife, your specific wife, is telling you she doesn't like it. And instead of arguing on whether or not she should like it, why don't you just ask her why? Ask her what she would like instead. She's dirty. She's got dishwater all over her. She's in the kitchen doing chores, and you're in the living room watching the game. And you thought the best time while you were relaxing and she was working is to come over and cop a feel? No. Context matters. And so everybody's context is going to be a little different. Learn your wife's. Understand her. Figure out why that bothers her and try to understand rather than making her feel bad or saying she's overreacting. In the long run, your wife will appreciate that more and your relationship will be stronger and more connected because you took the time to understand her, not make her feel bad because she didn't want you to grope her while she was doing dishes.
So y'all get it? Y'all get the point? I don't think I need to really add much to that, I think he made the point pretty clearly. Learn your partner. You have to learn your partner. I don't care if you had a partner in the past who did not ever say anything about you doing that. You have to learn your specific partner that you are with at this given time. Pick and choose TV. Slim in the building. Shout out to the Cap in the building. Salute to Slim. Yeah, you have to learn your specific partner, the things that they like and dislike. Again, any previous partner you had is not relevant to this situation, not relevant to the conversation. And I don't advise you bring that up ever in the conversation with a new partner, because that's a quick way to end your damn relationship. It's really a good way to instill lack of trust, reason to not feel trust in you. You talking about that old thing. You want that old thing back? So he almost did we saw the cartoons back in the day. They had the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. He almost did like the angel on the shoulder talking to himself. He's about to make a mistake. He's about to go down a bad path with his wife with the way that conversation started. We just going to show the beginning of it again to show how that conversation started prior to him doing the clap and getting his attention and, changing. We're basically stopping it from going down that road.
I'm literally cleaning the kitchen right now.
What's the big deal? Gosh, you're freaking out over nothing.
I'm literally actively cleaning the kitchen. Why is that the time that you have to do that?
Gosh, why are you freaking out? I'm just showing you that I love you. You'd miss that if I stopped doing it. Hey.
So, it may be a little exaggerated. I don't know. It's just not the way we speak in our household anyways. What's the big deal? Freaking out and all that stuff. That sounded like a teenager. That's kind of a teenager response, when they're almost throwing a tantrum because they think you're freaking out over something. So it may be a little exaggerated there as far as the speech, but or maybe it is like that in some households. I don't know, you know. But yeah, so again, lesson, learn your spouse. That's the one overarching thing here in the general. Like I said, if somebody were to ask me one general rule or one general piece of advice to give when it comes to relationships and, you know, trying to make them successful, is just learn your partner, continue to learn your partner more, learn more about your partner. Solstice, salute to you. Good evening. Yeah, continue to learn more about your partner. That's, you know, it's just that simple. If you continue to study your partner, continue to be a student of your partner, and actually, you know, really learning, taking it in, like, you know, this guy did in the video. He was teaching himself something, you know, it's a lesson to teach other people, but it's like, if that were really in that moment happening to him, it's like him teaching himself something. So learn your partner is the, you know, just the best kind of general overall advice that I could give, and, you know, to apply to all of it. Because if you apply that to every situation, right? So say you and your partner get in a disagreement discussion, you know, one that has y'all in y'all feelings to the point that y'all really don't want to talk to each other too much right now. You know, y'all want to go somewhere else and figure some things out before y'all talk again. Maybe the discussion has gotten there, right? While you're away, think about it. Learn your partner. How's your partner thinking about this? Like, about what you said or whatever it was that situation was about. How might your partner be thinking about that? You know, how did whatever it is you said or whatever you may have done, because you've done something in the situation more than likely, you know, there's very few situations where you're just completely innocent of all, you know, just everything. And we're not looking for a place to place blame in these situations. We're looking for resolution. So if you're taking time to learn what it is in that situation you may have done that may have made your partner feel a certain way, however they're feeling at the end of that discussion, it may help you to unwind things to resolve whatever it is the situation. So again, that's about learning your partner, understanding what makes them tick, what they don't like. DJ Cleveland, salute. So yeah, so you got to learn your partner. Like here's a guy who knows his partner, right? I'm gonna play another video for y'all. Here's a guy who knows his partner very well. This is a comedian. Y'all may have seen this before, but he knows his partner very well. So he knows how to do certain things that's going to get his partner's attention, right? Whenever the video loads, I'll show it to y'all. Here we go.
Excuse me, man. May I get four hamburgers, 3 See, told you sleep in the car and shit. We at home. We ain't even at McDonald's or none of that shit. Look at you, wake up. We heard some goddamn food though. I'm trying to ride around with you, your ass sleep and shit.
I'm sad.
Now you tired. You want time? You just heard me order some goddamn McDonald's.
You goddamn right.
See?
Yeah, I mean, if you know your partner, you can get away with stuff like that. You know, they ride and she's supposed to be awake keeping them company. She over there asleep. He act like he gonna pull up to the drive-thru and start ordering stuff. That woke her right on up. Yeah, he ain't even at no damn drive-thru. But when you know your partner, you can pull little pranks like that on them. You can get away with it. Gotta know your partner. Spend time, more time studying them, learning about the things that they enjoy, the things that they need. I mean, the only reason that your partner has you in your life is because you provide some sort of, you know, you fill a void. You provide for some of their needs. So what is it that they need from you? What is it that they actually need from you? And are you providing those things? You know, it can't just be the stereotype, you know, of things because that's just not reality. Arabia, the BT-1000, salute Arabia. Yeah, it's just not the reality of the world to think that the stereotypical things out here that they say a woman is supposed to provide or a man is supposed to provide in a relationship is exactly what your specific partner is looking for out of you in that relationship. We got Lovelace in the building. What's going on, Lovelace?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm wonderful. Peace to you. How are you?
Doing well. Peace to you, sister.
Thank you for holding it down. I had to
Oh,
go to
absolutely.
give me some M&Ms.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you done played Hell is Hot. Play something else.
Yeah. I got everything froze up over there. I don't know what's up with that.
It took me a minute to try to get up here too. It gave me some crazy shout out to the chat. Hey y'all. It took me a minute to get up here. It gave me some lengthy thing to go through to try to get on, but anyway.
Wonder what that's about. I wonder if I need to like refresh or something. I just don't know what'll happen if I do that. Let me try to refresh real quick. Hold on a second.
Okay. Shout out to the chat. Can y'all hear me? While Iceberg is refreshing. I can't see you guys, but hope that you all are having a wonderful evening. Make sure that you hit the like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for being here. We go.
We good now.
Okay.
Shout out to Lovelace for holding it down so I can get things fixed.
I try my best. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Listen, she woke right up when he said some food order, huh?
Yeah, she walked right on up. Hold on, let me show that again. Shout out to Will T in the building.
Hey.
Let me show that again. Yeah, she walked right on up. Let's see, show y'all what Lovelace talking about, y'all.
Excuse me, man. May I get four hamburgers, 3 See, told you sleep in the car and shit. We at home. We ain't at McDonald's or none of that shit. Look at you, wake up. We heard some goddamn food though. I'm trying to ride around with you, your ass sleep and shit.
I'm tired.
I know you tired. You want time? You just heard me order some goddamn McDonald's.
You goddamn right.
See?
She said I was tired. Listen.
I'm tired.
I'm tired until I heard.
Oh man.
We was back.
But see, when you got you a good spouse that you can joke around with and you know your spouse well, you can play with them like that. Mm-hmm. You can pull a little stuff like that.
Yeah,
was that you on that other one, Lovelace? The bed hogger, was that you?
Oh, for sure. That's our space. What you mean you rolling over? We rolling over. What you mean?
I told y'all, see.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, I have gained all rights and reserve all rights to agitate and get on his nerve and love him extra. Yes, every day. And he does the same to me. Now, that would definitely be us too in the first video you played. I'm with the Nerf gun all day.
Yes,
yes. You quiet. What you doing? Bink, bink.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta have fun. You gotta keep, life in your relationships, especially for, the people like if they have children in the house and then the children get out of the house. You got to do things to keep your life in your relationship. You got to do stuff like this.
Please don't come in here. Stop.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Right in the cranium, right there.
Yep. You ain't even gonna get them words. People going pop. Yep. She knew it was coming too. She knew he was gonna act foolish.
Oh yeah. And that's a bond that couples try to build, because if you do have children or you become, empty nesters or whatever the case may be, right? You have to learn and remember to have fun with one another. That's the goal. Remember that. All the other stuff is kind of easy. However, remember to have fun with one another.
Absolutely. Look, y'all, I'm about to show y'all this next video. And so I showed this to my wife, and she knows this is her 100%. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other people out there who are just like this as well, but this is my wife 100% in this next video.
I'm dead. I'm watching TV. I'm looking at you. Fuck you. I'm dead again. I'm up. I can run faster than a big.
Yeah. Y'all need to see that again.
Please.
Y'all need to see that again. Here we go.
I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm watching TV. I'm looking at you. Fuck you. I'm dead again. I'm up. I can run faster than a big.
Yeah. Other than the fuck you part, because she don't really talk like that, all the rest of them things, that's my wife. Just bouncing all over the place, like, just, it changes just like that.
Shout out to Lady Iceberg.
Yeah, shout out to Lady Iceberg.
Lady Iceberg.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that is her for sure. Like I said, other than the fuck you, she don't really speak like that. But all of the rest of that stuff, that is her all day. You know, it's just, it changes. It flips all over the place. I showed her that she couldn't stop laughing because she knows it's so true.
Now, wait a minute, Iceberg. Now, which one of those scenes are you as well?
Which one is me?
Which one could be you? Are you the Nerf gun? Are you the, hey, what you doing in the kitchen?
I'm definitely not the guy in the kitchen. I'm not that one. I'm the one who learned the lesson side of it. I'm not the one that did the groping and stuff. And I'm not Nerf gun in terms of that way. I'm that type of personality, but I don't have Nerf guns or anything like that. But I am kind of that type of personality. And then I'm also the one that is just sitting there, like, laughing, but trying to keep a straight face when she's doing this.
I'm dead. I'm watching TV. I'm looking at you. Fuck you. I'm dead again. I'm up. I can run faster than a big.
And I'm just in my own world, all that's going on around me. And I'm just in my own world the whole time. Lou Jenkins, what up, though?
Hey, Lou. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. So all that's going on, and I'm, I might be here preparing for a show, whatever, but all that's going on all around me, She might be over here doing yoga 1 second, sitting right here beside me another second, over there messing with the plants another second, somewhere else in the house, and it's just like that, and I'm just here the whole time.
Freedom of enjoyment, I call it.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get even better whenever we get that new house built. And hey, y'all. So my time is about to get shorter on here. My availability, I should say. I don't know if any of y'all have ever, I know some of y'all have built houses before, but for all of y'all who have built houses, been in that process, we're in that process, and it's a lot, it's a pain. It's a good pain, but it's a lot, so my availability is going to be getting slimmer and slimmer as far as getting stuff prepared for that. That's going to be taking most of my time. Now, I am going to plan on trying to turn some of that into some content, so I'm not going to be totally gone. But in terms of me being able to just kind of sit still here and do shows, I know I only do them really like once a week now, so it may stay, something along that lines, but it probably ain't going to be getting a whole lot more than that. Not until after we get moved and all that stuff. So it'll probably be next year or, so this time whenever I'm really trying to get really ramped up or, do a whole lot more because.
Priority.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this is definitely a much higher priority, between this and, work is great, but, I use my brain all day at work. I'm staring at a computer. I'm a data analyst, so I'm staring at computers and, numbers and data and stuff all day long. So to come and prepare for a show and come and sit here and stare at the screen for more hours is, definitely taxing on the brain for sure.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So some of the topics on your thumbnail.
Yes.
Right. So those were some good broad topics. You married perspective. Yeah. And the singles and committed living separately. And the cohabiting. So I think I would fit in where is the would cohabiting fit into common law?
Essentially, yes. Cohabitating. So, hey, I'm glad you asked that because I actually have something pulled up. And I probably would have forgotten had you not said that. So, Cohabitation and common law, the terms kind of get thrown interchangeably. However, they do mean different things. So for example, common law marriage is not recognized in all states. Not all states will allow you to have a common law marriage. Now some states will recognize another state's common law marriage, but they won't allow you to actually get a common law marriage in their state. And if people don't know what common law marriage is, it's like essentially like if you've been in your living situation together for a certain amount of time, depending on the state and stuff like that, they may consider you married for purposes of, different things like taxes and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cohabitation, while similar, it, is different because, again, common law is a thing that is not recognized in every state. So, in some states, it's just not even a thing. It's just, it's a term that we may know, but it's not an actual real thing that state sees as anything. Like in North Carolina, they don't actually perform, common law marriages, but they will recognize a common law marriage if it was done in certain other states.
Mm-hmm.
Cohabitation is an agreement. Here's, Google. And again, this is the AI overview. It's a pretty good overview, general definition. If you want to get more detailed, we can get into some actual legal law agreements or law definitions. But the general, thing of a cohabitation agreement is a legally binding contract of unmarried partners or long-term roommates. And it outlines the financial and property matters during a relationship and how their issues will be handled if it ends or a partner dies. So almost kind of like almost like a prenup, or type of thing that carries into a marriage, you know what I'm saying? So it's, you're agreeing on who's going to be responsible for what finances, what happens to things if, we separate, what happens to things if one of us dies, all of that stuff. Mom, Boss Mayo, good evening to you. Yeah, so, you put all of that stuff in there, to kind of give yourselves protections, number one, but also to give you the peace of mind of knowing that your assets are going to go where you want them to go as well. Because think of situations where there are couples who never get married for one reason or another. Their state does not recognize common law marriage, but they want their assets to go to each other. They don't want it to go to their deadbeat kids. They want it to go to this person they've lived with for the last 30 years and built a life with.
Mm-hmm.
This is a way that they can get that kind of insurance and protection that, their partner will, the assets will be transferred properly, and that type of thing. So, and again, it differs from common law. Let's see here. These agreements are particularly useful when buying a home or other assets together. So like if you and a partner that are not married or looking to buy a home together, it will be helpful to do something like that. So you both have protections. You both have the same stake in it, things like that. One partner can't say, it's in my name and basically evict you from your own home that you put however many years worth of money into and equity into, right?
Correct.
Provides a framework for property division, shared expenses, and resolving potential disputes, offering clarity and protection that common law marriage, not recognized in states, does not. So with a common law marriage, it doesn't provide you the same protections and clarity and stuff like that because it's just kind of, we see it as this, but it's still not very clearly defined. If something were to happen to you, what happens to your assets? Can your kids come in and start saying, oh, we have claim to that, because y'all weren't married? Or is your partner the one that's like, we've been together 20 years. Yeah, we never went down to the courthouse and did anything, but she's just as much my wife as anybody else, So that's, go ahead.
And also just a tip out there, if you guys want to check in it for yourself, notarize. Put your things in writing and things like that, health concerns, being able to speak for your partner. If you're not, so-called legally married, um, get them notarized. Put your wants and concerns and needs in your notary and have it notarized, and you carry around those documents if ever those situations were to occur.
Absolutely. People. So I mean, great. That was great, Lovelace, because people don't understand. So marriage recognized by the state is nothing more than two people going down there and filing documents with the state, signing the documents, and then going in front of a magistrate and swearing to that they are doing this, of free will and stuff like that. Now, yeah, it ties you into all of these other things, but that's all you're doing is going down and filing some paperwork with the courthouse. That's all marriage is, legally. So all of this stuff Lovelace is saying, you can file all of these things. You can file anything, for the most part, and get these things on record that this is your, what you want to happen. That's like last wills and testament, You can write all this stuff out on a piece of paper, but if you ain't got it notarized and in the right places, it don't mean nothing. It's just a piece of paper.
Correct.
Get this stuff notarized. If you need to file it somewhere, if you need to put it in a safe deposit box at a bank, if you need to do whatever you need to do, but make sure it's the actual proper documentation to protect yourself, a legal contract. If you need to have a lawyer look it over, do that. Get it notarized. I'm a notary in North Carolina. It's not hard to get something notarized, y'all. It's not hard to get something notarized.
And it's not expensive either.
Absolutely.
Just for those that, are concerned. But do your research, do your due diligence on what your household is doing, and just make sure you protect yourself at all costs,
Yes, protect yourselves. It's all about protection. And see, that's what these agreements are. I mean, marriage is really a protection for some people. Going into a marriage is a protection agreement for some people. If you are a person who is coming into a marriage and you maybe have less assets than your partner, it's a way to protect you, in some ways. Not saying that it is protecting you physically, because if you got an abusive spouse or whatever, I ain't saying that. I'm saying in legal protections, in financial protections,
Healthcare.
this partner, healthcare, this partner has to provide certain things for you legally, and if y'all's marriage dissolves, there's certain things that the partner may have to continue to provide for you. We all know how nasty divorces work, and alimony and child support and all that stuff. We've heard of all of those things. So all of these come from those legal agreements that you make. The Beef Sector Podcast, what's up? Let's see here. I'm trying to read some of the comments in the chat. Mom Boss Mayo said it's been 13 years for them and they're not married. See, 13 years. They got children, all of that stuff. They have a successful relationship, though. They're raising their family together, and they're not concerned with getting the courts involved in their business, as far as all of that. And that is perfectly fine. There is nothing at all wrong with that. Because, again, marriage essentially is going out to the courthouse and doing things. It changes things for tax purposes. It changes things for requirements, essentially, what you're required to do for the other person, but outside of that, if you're already doing all of those things and the tax incentive is not necessarily there for you, then hey, by all means.
And it can also be for marriage. I've understood for people to say that it can be a faith-based thing as well. How some people say, you go before God and you do the things, you say the things, and that kind of solidifies it for, the marriage and the couple and, the things that they believe in and reside, on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like me and mine, we are not documented married, if that makes any sense. We're more common law, and that's something that we chose for our relationship. And it's worked out well for us. We've got our legal documents in place. We've got our living wills and our, so those things can be health wise. He can speak for me. I can speak for him. And all those legal documents are in order, updated. And, we just make sure that those proper things are taken care of just in case, if anything.
Absolutely. And that's all that matters. So, I mean, with all of that Lovelace said, her and her spouse have done all of the things to be just as much married as any other couple in terms of the protections that they've done to, again, decide where their assets are going, be able to speak for one another when it comes to, if one's incapacitated health-wise, all of those things. They've put themselves in a position to already know and have the same peace of mind, So, let me change the screen really quickly. Hold on, do it like this. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the common law thing really quickly. So it says no, North Carolina does not recognize common law marriage. You cannot become legally married in the state simply by living together. So again, common law marriage is when you live together for a certain amount of time. I don't know what the number of years is. It's I think different in different states, but they kind of almost automatically consider you married for different purposes of things like taxes and some of these other things we've mentioned. G Mama Body, good evening to you. To get married in North Carolina, you must obtain a marriage license from the Register of Deeds. Again, going down to the courthouse and filing paperwork. And then have the marriage solemnized by a minister, as Lovelace is saying. A lot of people faith-based feel like they need to go in front of a minister and do it, under the eyes of God. Or a magistrate. You can do it right there at the courthouse. You can do it. There's people who get married at the jail, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the night, I swear to you. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've never been a written witness for it. I've seen it, witnessed it with my eyes, but I've never been a witness like signing off. Most of the time, they bring their own witnesses, But there's people who get married at the jail where people are getting bailed out and all of that. They will be there. Why? Because the magistrate can marry them and they want to get married in the middle of the night. The courthouse ain't open in the middle of the night, but you can get married at the magistrate in the middle of the damn night if you want to. And people do it. You will see people show up at the jail in a wedding dress, in a suit. They got some other people with them and they asses get married and go on their way and have a good night. Real talk. So
conjugal visits.
Yep. All that. All that. It happens.
Yep.
It's real.
Yeah.
The magistrate can do it. All they need to do is fill out the proper paperwork and be consenting adults.
Mm-hmm.
That is all it takes. So, yeah. Again, that would be cohabitating partners. Kind of the same essentially. But again, a cohabitation agreement is an actual, legal binding agreement, kind of like a marriage license, that determines all of these different things that a marriage license would automatically determine. Because again, when you go into a marriage license, you are signing an agreement, a contract between your partner and that state, whatever state it is that you get married in. That's why you got to go through the courts to get a divorce. If it were just as easy as saying I'm married to you and now we're divorced, you wouldn't have to go through all of the headaches and spend the money and get lawyers and all these people involved. But you are signing a legally binding contract between yourself, that other person, and the state. And, there's a whole lot of things that are in that. So educate yourself. Know what you're signing up for. If you're a young person that doesn't really fully understand it and get enamored with the thought of it. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone from getting married. I am a proponent of marriage. Or I'll put it like this. I'm a proponent of lifetime relationship.
I like that.
Put it like that. Because I'm not a proponent of Lovelace and her boo changing anything about their situation. But I am a proponent of them having a lifetime relationship. So, yeah, I'll say it that way as opposed to saying I'm a proponent of marriage. I'm a proponent of my marriage.
Right.
I will be that. I'm a proponent of my marriage. I'm a proponent of other people's marriages who choose to go that route. But I'm a proponent of lifetime relationship overall. So shout out to that.
That part.
Yeah, shout out to that. We ain't got no single people want to join the conversation. We don't have, we got the married people. We got the people who are cohabitating and making it work like a mug, like Lovelace and her boo, like Mom Boss and her bae. Let's see. Loyalty says, my thing with marriage, why need a middleman? It's like lawyers get paid dealing with people marriages as in want to cut. So lawyers get paid with dealing with divorces more so than with marriages. You don't need a lawyer to get married. You need a lawyer to get divorced in a lot of cases. You don't necessarily need a lawyer to get divorced if you and your spouse can actually come to agreements on everything and just file the proper paperwork. All you got to do is, again, file the paperwork. The lawyers get involved because people want to take things from each other. So then that has to be decided. What are you at right to take? What are you owed, maybe?
Correct.
So that's why the lawyers get involved. But marriage doesn't have lawyers involved at all. Yeah. So, yeah, shout out to you, Will T. Yeah, that's what you meant. Yeah. Let's see here. Just Jay, your single ass keep running them off, so you have no advice to give. Why do you think you're the one running them off, Just Jay? That would be my question to you. Why do you believe you're running them off? Because maybe they're meant to be run off if they're not the one for you, you know? But why do you put it that way is my question. Why do you phrase it that you are running them off?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, because we have to, like you said before, getting to know, a person that turns into a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, getting to know that person will help you to understand if they so-called ran off, they might not be ready. Mm-hmm. You might find within yourself that you're not ready, because relationships take a source of commitment, not only from self, but, obligation to that other person,
And one of the big commitments that you have to do in a relationship is commit to meeting that person where they are. Because if you can't commit to that, then maybe it's not the relationship for you. So when Just Jay, and she hasn't responded yet, but the way she says that can mean a bunch of things to me. Like, I would like to know what she thinks, but does she feel like running them off? Does that mean you're coming on too strong? Does that mean you're not ready for commitment when they are? It could be anything in between. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, and they're hard stopping boundaries when you're two people are getting to know each other and they want to move their relationship forward. Some of those boundaries might be, I thought I could, maybe I can't, so on and so forth. And also committing to the individual growth of one another throughout that relationship.
Oh, yes.
We could grow up,
Go, man, hold on. Where's my thing? Yeah, we gotta give you horns on that. Committing, you have to understand individual growth, y'all. That is a key. That is a hard lesson for a lot of people to learn. It took time for me to learn it even. It took time for my wife to learn it. We have different interests. We have individual interests. She's into dance and ballet and stuff like that. I will go to the ballet with her, but I'm not into doing ballet. She is. That's an individual interest of hers. I'm into doing other things that she has no interest in, like some of the stuff I do talking with y'all. She doesn't really pay attention to this stuff. So you have to give your partner space to have their own individual interests. Yes, y'all going to have joint interests. Y'all going to do things together. Y'all probably spend a lot of time together, but you have to give them space to have their own individual interest as well.
Correct.
And support that growth of that individual interest.
That part. Because we never stop growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We never stop growing. We never stop re-understanding ourselves, if that's the right word to put right there. Mm-hmm. And being committed to saying, hey, I see your growth. May not fully understand it. However, you're going in a good direction and I support you. Mm-hmm. It's not my growth, it's yours.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
vice versa.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about real quick the man in the kitchen scene with the wife.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
So I was looking at that when I was driving, and I was like, now there's two components to this. All right. Could she possibly, and these are just, hypotheticals. Could that have been the way that they greet each other, play around with each other, whatever the case may be? And then on that particular day, that moment, she was like, what's up with you? Mm-hmm. And he's like, what's up with you? This is something I normally do. However, today I'm finding out that, not today. You
Right.
know, I took that as effective communication. Like the next gentleman or same gentleman said, communicate, find out why.
Hmm.
You know, we
I
all go
agree.
through changes and stages throughout the day. It just might not have been the right time to, you know, uh, mix and mingle. I guess, I reckon it might not have been,
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. Like you said, effective communication. Maybe that is a way that they communicated in the past, or maybe that was a way they interacted in the past, but he wasn't picking up her signals that right then wasn't the time for that type of interaction. So, like you say, effective communication. And again, that comes from study and continuing to be a student of your partner. Just continue to learn more and more about them, making them your number one subject of study, learning them, just again, the things that they like, the things they don't like, the things that give them all of the different emotions, because emotions are not necessarily a bad thing. And no matter who you are, you're going to continue to have them. So instead of trying to force people to don't be so emotional or don't be so sensitive or don't be so this or that, find out why they are maybe being emotional, why they're being sensitive about that subject. Because before your partner met you, they were a person who had a whole bunch of experiences without you. And there may be some things that you do that bring those things back. And they may not be comfortable necessarily speaking on them because of the way that you're approaching them. So be a student of your partner.
All right, pick up on the vibe. And if you're not sure about the vibe, it's okay to get things so called wrong. You know what I mean? Loving on your partner, embracing them, showing them affection is not wrong. However, it can be communicated like, hey, I'm doing my lady thing this week or whatever the case may be. And it just might not feel the same when I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of Just Jay, she said something about clingy.
Yes.
Clingy.
Yeah. Yeah, she said, I'm clingy when I'm in a relationship. I just want to be with that person, but maybe they have other ideas.
What's your Just Jay? What's your clingy? Come here. Always together. We together. Me and you together.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. What is your definition? That's a great question. What is your definition of clingy when you say that? Like, what types of things is it that you do that you define as clingy? And say you just want to be with that person. Now, are you saying like you want to be with them in their physical space all the time? Or are you saying that you want y'all to be solo committed to one another, not having other, men or women on the side? Is that what you're saying with that?
You want to talk to him all day?
Right. Yeah. You trying to be on the phone like you on the road and you trying to be on the phone with them 24/7? Is that what you talking about? Or,
When he in the shower, you want to be like right outside the door or ready?
right.
I'm making slight fun of it, Just Jay, but I hope that you or I pray that you understand what I'm saying, because I just like some clarity on the clingy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, take clingy as you're in my space too much. I need some outside space, and we have to be okay with that individual saying, "I need just a little room," especially if you
Right.
want with someone.
Right. Will T asks, he asked both you and me, Miss Lovelace, do y'all think the way society, excuse me, and social media influence the decline in marriages? You want to go first?
Influence decline in marriage?
Mm-hmm. Society and social media, do you think that influences decline in marriages?
It can. It can
Right.
alter mentality. It depends on what you know of and understand of marriage, what you want, your marriage to look like for the years you want it to sustain. And social media will be exactly what it is. It'll be a wide range of different outside opinions that also can alter. I say let your foundation be your groundwork and what you want to be a part of your groundwork as well.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. It can have an influence on marriages and decline in, say, marriage rate. But I agree with everything Lovelace said. I mean, those things, society and social media, can only have an influence on your marriage if you allow it. you know, because your marriage is between you and your spouse. And if you believe, then you, your spouse, and your creator, right?
Correct.
So a lot, society and social media, like, for example, my marriage, no, they don't have an influence on it. They at all, you know, especially at this point. But, you know, our marriage grew up in a different age where social media wasn't a thing, first off, you know, or in the earlier years of our marriage. And then I've never really been much of a person to be swayed by society that, you know, much, you know, so, and my wife isn't too much either. So we don't really let society's influence kind of come into our marriage. So
We
yes,
make
go ahead.
we make our own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
we can see certain things. We've seen marriages come and go. We've seen relationships come and go, and we take it as more talking points to add to what we would, you know, maybe do in that situation, or how we would, you know, give our takes on it. You know, but however, we make the final decision on what we want in our relationship and how we want it to grow and thrive. Not,
Absolutely.
not society.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My knowledge of marriage comes from my experiences in life. You know, I watch my parents get divorced, both get remarried, and then those marriages are, you know, long-lasting marriages. So I've, you know, seen that. I've seen a whole bunch of other, you know, situations too. But most of my, I guess, marriage thought process influence or whatever comes from my actual life experiences around what I've saw marriage to be, more so than what society shows, you know, something on TV or anything like that. Those things don't have as much influence on my thought process about what marriage is and how marriage is supposed to look. Let's see here.
Yeah, we like to talk to the couples while Iceberg is looking for his thing. We like to talk to the couples that have been married, you know, for years and things like that. We often visit with a couple that's been married over 57 years, and we enjoy the conversation about the trials and error, the ups and downs, the remember of what you started, why you agreed, you know. And so we like to talk to those people that have, you know, had those type of age in their marriage. And also we like to, you know, kind of have certain conversations with couples that are recently married and have a few years under their belt as well. So, you know, it just, for us, it just makes for extra good conversation pieces and what our thought process on it is at that time.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's where you get your knowledge from, the people who have been there, the people who have been through those trials. Because again, nobody are here. Here's what I'm gonna tell the people out there, and young married couples, don't take this the wrong way, because some of y'all out there may be where I am or beyond in thought process on this, right? I don't know where y'all's marriage is, but I'm just trying to say it in a way that to make it make sense, right? So younger married couples, a lot of times, just like younger people, a lot of things are about the way things look, you know, the vanity of the way things look. So how it may look to other people. So they may not really be fully honest with what is happening in their marriage. And it's nobody else's business, for that matter. I'm not saying to tell your business of what's going on in your marriage, because that will make it dissolve unless you're talking to a therapist or something, you know. But there's a lot of focus on, you know, how the marriage looks, you know, like we do these weddings and all that stuff. It's all about looks, how everything looks. And there's a lot of times, a lot of turmoil going on in the early years of marriage. Because, I mean, especially if you get married young, because neither one of you know what the hell you're doing. You're young. You're new adults. You know, I was 22, my wife was 20, about to be 21. Sure, I'll just salute. So we're new adults, essentially. Yeah, I've been in the Army 4 years, out of the Army, all of that. So I was mature, but I was still a new adult. I'm only 22. That's college graduation age. Mm-hmm. So we're new adults. We're married. We're new into the workforce. So we're at the bottom end of the income. So obviously everything is tight. fortunately, we don't have any extra mouths to feed. You know, we don't have any children. We didn't have any young children, anything like that. So we didn't have that extra expense. But think about it. A lot of young couples have that extra expense as well. So you're young, maybe college graduation age, at the bottom of the totem pole in the workforce. So you're probably, if you are making a salary job, it's the bottom of the salary scale, typically. Because if you are going for one of those other jobs, you're still in college, right? You know, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, you still in college at 22. You're not out doing your stuff. So if you're thinking about that, there's a lot of focus on how the marriage looks to other people. And there's a lot of turmoil going on at that time because, again, funds are tight. We're learning each other. You know, we just now start living together, all of these things. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you're learning about your partner. You're in the very infant stage of learning your partner. Now, at 24 years, we can comfortably have conversations with, you know, people about the trials and turmoil and all the different things that we've experienced in our marriage, and not worried or no concern about the protection of how it looks, because at this point we don't care what any of y'all think about how our marriage looks. You know, that's where we have gotten to.
That part.
Like, you know, is that we have kind of graduated or, you know, been opened or enlightened to a place where we don't care what anybody else in this world thinks about how our marriage looks. The only thing that matters is how we think about how our marriage looks, and we know what we're building together. So if people want to look at it that way, that's fine. We don't care. You know, if somebody wants to look at it in a positive way and ask us questions, fine. We will, you know, have conversation. But if, you know, so again, it's just my thought process. I may be wrong in this, but I just know a lot of times looking at the young side of marriage, you know, there's a lot of protection on the image of it. You don't want to talk about the turmoil that's going on. You hide, you have secrets of the marriage that you two keep together that you don't want anybody else to know about. And then, you know, there gets a point where Lovelake's talking about a couple that's been married 50 something years where they can probably spill it all. They can tell all of the different things. If they haven't experienced it themselves, they've seen it happen, you know. So that's just wisdom that you can't have until you've either had it instilled into you by somebody who's experienced it, or you just have to experience it yourself. Jimmy McFly, aka him and McFly Media, yo, salute to you.
Yeah, and you're still figuring out yourself. And now you're branching into a marriage and still trying to figure that out as well. Mm-hmm. Make sure to give yourself grace and patience with not only yourself, but one another. Because you're learning. You're learning how to be married together.
Yes.
You know? So it's something new. Just Jay says she likes to spend time.
Mm-hmm.
What did she say?
She said, my clingy is being affectionate and we don't have to talk on the phone all the time. And yes, we better be exclusive. But if I see him this much, I'm trying to make up for it before I get back on the road. So I understand what she's saying because she is, you know, she drives over the road. So she's only going to be in town for, you know, a period of time. And she going to want to be able to get her time with her boo during that time before she has to get back out on the road. And, you know, I mean, she says she don't have to talk all the time, but being affectionate. So basically when you in town, you want him to be all over you. So here's what Just Jay saying, y'all. We are all adults here. Just Jay is saying, y'all, that whenever she come home, she's trying to get her back blown out multiple times and before she get back on that road. And then when she get on the road, she need to be able to hear from you, and you better not be messing with nobody else. But when she get home for this little bit of time, she need to be getting her time in.
All right now. All right.
That's all. We just gonna make this grown folk, you know. That's what Judge Jay is trying to say. When she's at home for them couple days, whatever, the back blowout needs to happen multiple times in that period before she get back on the road. And if she says she coming back through and she only gonna be there a day, you got to be ready to drop everything and come see your boo. That's all she's saying.
Mm-hmm. And exclusive.
Oh, definitely exclusive. Now, definitely exclusive. So she's saying is that she gonna put it on you those times she gonna put it on you, it's gonna be worth waiting for her to come back through. That's what she's trying to let you know. But you better know it's gonna be exclusive, and you better be affectionate.
No new friends.
No new friends, no.
Don't let her come back home and you got 2 or 3 new friends.
Exactly. You can't be having none on the side while she out on the road. You just got to be able to have some self-control and understand that your boo will be coming back, and when she comes back, she's going to do more than take care of you.
You know what that brings me to? Long distance relationship.
What do you want to know about that? I have a lot of knowledge on that subject.
Well, not me personally.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it that way.
No. You're fine. Exactly how you said it. And I'm glad that you have the knowledge to speak on it. Long distance relationships for some people can be challenging, because the distance does make the heart grow fonder, and it can also put space, negative thoughts into the understanding. So if you don't mind me asking, when you and your wife were having your long distance relationship, I've heard you say, right? One way I heard you say you all cope was, writing, keeping in contact with each other. However, like you said, let's be grown. Those moments of intimacy, was that effective communication for you too? Or was it just understood that when we see each other, backs will be blown out and attention will be given in that area?
We never even really had to have a conversation about it, truth be told. Maybe we're a little different. I don't know. I feel like I am definitely a little different when it comes to how I was raised and stuff like that, right? So I was just kind of raised to be a little mature. I was raised military, so I was raised to be mature, and then I went into the military and all of that. So whenever I met her right before I went off the basic training, literally a month before I went to basic training, I met her, right?
Right.
So, go off the basic training, you ain't even got time for none of that stuff and, basic training and all of that. And then, she was my one at that point. Because, so anybody who has been in the military, and it's different for different people, but like you've seen this in movies before, right? When the guy is going off to war, so to speak, right? And he has his girl back at home, and she writes him the letters, and then he gets the letter when he's out there, it's the worst damn time, and he gets the letter, and it just changes everything. You know what I'm saying? Because he's getting a letter from his lady. So we didn't have to have a conversation in terms of exclusivity or anything like that specifically. And just our communication and stuff at the time was effective and mature enough. I mean, I was in the military and she was in school. She was in college, being a paralegal. So I don't know. I guess just our situation was unique. The way that it started, I mean, it's the late 90s, so it's before social media, before people had cell phones all over the place. So letters was the way we were able to communicate, other than back in the day we had the phone cards. But, I was spending pretty much my whole paycheck on phone cards to talk on the phone for the amount of time we could, Right. But that's how we managed. That's how we coped. I mean, it was letters, phone calls, and the rest of the time it was, being distracted with military, school, just different things. Yeah, life.
Life, yeah. And me and mine as well. Excuse me. We did a lot of talking on the phone, and just getting to know each other and laugh with each other and just talk about different things. So we did a lot of communicating and things. Were we intimate over the phones and things like that? No. However, we didn't mind having open conversations about waiting for one another and how important that was for each other, in our relationship,
Right. And now, so we definitely said things to one another over the phone, in terms of, say, like fantasizing conversation of
the days we'll be together.
What it's going to be like when we're together, things like that. Yes, we definitely had those types of conversations, while we were apart, and yeah.
And those are also conversations that I think help to build a bond,
Oh,
build,
absolutely.
and it lets your partner know, I'm into you.
Mm-hmm.
Know? And there's all sorts of conversations that you can have with a person besides sex just being the key point.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it should never be your foundation. It should be a part, but not the foundation that keeps you together and keeps you growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there's no way we could have survived, our relationship could have survived if it were based on sex, because, I mean, again, we weren't in each other's presence to have sex, like that. So there's no way that it could have even been just all about that conversation or anything. It would have drove us crazy. We
Right.
were actually building a real bond on learning one another, supporting one another. She supported me through my times out in the field, all that crap. And I'm, supporting her through her school studies and all of that, so learning one another, supporting one another, having that as really the only way to stay in touch is, that type of communication. So it really did set us up on a good footing to, have solid foundation of communication when we were actually together living in the same space.
Right. Now, let me ask you something. Were there ever any weeks that a letter didn't come and then you wrote a letter and was like, hey, what you doing? Hey, don't call you. Don't make me get one of these phone cards and call you now. Where my letter
Well,
at?
that never had to happen because we tried to definitely manage the phone cards where we could speak to each other at least, hopefully daily. But if it wasn't daily, every other day or so. So no, I never had to get to a point where I had to do anything like that. Nah.
That would be, that would have been
Yeah.
a fun letter to get. Just like one letter is like, hey, where you been? And then you get another couple of pages that are, really expressing like how things are going and
Right.
issues and things like that. But that would have been funny,
Yeah.
just one letter. Hey, where you at? Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause you
well,
got
look, you remember funds was tight back then, so I couldn't afford look, whatever 19-cent stamp and the envelope and the paper and all that just to say, hey, where you at?
you got to put that all in one envelope, y'all.
Yeah. So I had to put 2 letters in one envelope. That's right. Yeah. I was a little broke private back then in the army, so yeah.
But look at you now. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah. Absolutely. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think any of the singles gonna hit the link, but Just Jay is giving us some conversation. She says she's a truck driver, so she could be anywhere at any time. So a long distance relationship isn't a problem for her. So yeah,
But could it be a problem for the other person?
true.
You know, that could be something that as you get to know someone and they're like, oh, okay, you're a truck driver. That's cool. You're on the road, you're doing your thing, especially if you're a woman and all that stuff that goes with that. However, that other person could have thought about it and been like, kind of like my person near, you know,
Right.
not so much having to, I mean, hours are certainly different than a 5 or 10 minute, 45-minute drive,
Mhm.
that can make a difference in somebody.
Let me
One,
ask you.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
no,
Let
no,
me
no.
ask you this, Just Jay, if you're still listening. And I'm not asking you to change anything. This is just a question that I'm gonna throw out there to you because it's one that maybe you have gotten from a man before, or one that you probably will get if there's maybe a man interested in you. Um, are you open at all to being a local driver where you could be home every night? I mean, I'm not asking you to change because I know you do what you do. Your profession is your profession. And, I'm not asking that. But what I am asking, the reason I'm asking you that is because it changes your pool, essentially, of people who are available. Now, with that being said, I believe there's someone out there who is totally fine with you being a long haul driver and long distance relationship and all that. I believe that person is out there. Um, I'm just throwing things out there because, you're saying you're clingy. Well, maybe this other person is clingy too. And they so clingy that they want to cling on to your booty every night. Just like I like clinging on to my wife. I clung on to her right before we went live here. You know what I'm saying? And they may want to cling on to your booty every night. So, you know, that again, that just changes the pool of people who you have available, essentially, because the long distance thing may be a problem for some people where, you know, other people are not going to care. You said you're a local driver when your daughter was in school, but now that she's grown, you're over the road, right? So, again, I don't know if you even have any interest in being local anymore, anywhere specifically, but, you know, that may be something that changes some of the response that you get from some of the people. But again, that would be something that would come through communication, you know, over some time. You know, you can't, first time you talking to some guy, he can't be trying to ask you to go local. You know, you could put it out there that it's something that, you know, maybe will be a consideration, but, you know, you ain't make no changes in no first conversation. You know, ain't nobody doing that. But, yeah, just different things. Because, again, clingy, again, he might want to cling on to you just as much. And when you are across the country and he want to cling on to you in that moment, you know. What'd you think, Lovelace?
Yeah, I was gonna expound on that too. You know, the clingy part is it's just a word that has a wide range of meanings. Just for me, when I think about clingy, I saw the word affectionate in there and exclusivity, and those two things, you know, came into mind as well. That's why I was saying the communication in the first go round, which allows the boundaries and the hard stops and the no, I'm not just into that. Um, you know, and I don't know. It could be, you know, you want too much intimacy when when you're in town. I mean, you know, it could be. I
I
don't know.
mean,
Yeah, it's just a wide variety
yeah.
of thoughts that come to mind when you said clingy. However, I will add this. Just Jay. Um, always know if you're not sure. Always know and understand that you're enough,
Mm-hmm.
and the person that is there for you is out there.
Mm-hmm.
So always keep that in mind as you're in your single state and you're saying, you know, when is my time? Your time will be at the right time. I don't know if that makes any sense. Oh, I hope I said that.
No, that makes 100% sense. I agree with you. I piggyback on that. Yes, you are enough, just as you are right now. No changes necessary. You are enough, just as you are.
Yeah,
And again, it's like don't rush. You know, because if you rush it, you gonna get into basically if you rush it, then you're gonna be rushing into your first divorce.
oh,
You know what I'm saying? So don't rush to find that one because again, you just gonna be rushing into your first divorce. That's all that's going to be.
let
You
me ask,
know? Yes, ma'am.
are you an advocate for divorce?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Mm-mm. I
Not
mean, people do what they gotta do. I don't have a problem. I don't look my nose down on anybody who's divorced or anything
right.
like that. Like I said, I come a child of it. Um, but I'm not a fan of it, you know. I mean, there's situations where it's definitely necessary. You know, you're in an abusive relationship, get out, all of that. But let's throw all of that stuff out the window.
What if
And
you
just
felt alike?
if you what?
If you felt what if a married couple, let's say, came to you and your wife, hypothetical situation, right?
Mhm.
What if a married couple came and they said, you know, we want to talk to y'all about, you know, something real vulnerable and be transparent, and you know, we respect y'all enough to get your insight, your intake, and what you think.
Mhm.
And once you hear the things, you and your wife, and you're like, yeah, a divorce would be um, a better thing for you
What
all.
would what would be those things though? I mean, like seriously, you would have to
I don't
give
like.
me something that would really be a catalyst for me to say that there is you've crossed a point of no return with this relationship.
I don't like you anymore. I don't like you
What
anymore. I don't love you anymore.
what does that mean?
Yeah,
Like, how did you just all of a sudden all stop liking this person? What did something had to happen? You know, you don't just stop liking a person that you at one point liked so much that you said you love to sign a document with.
Right. So they don't have, that goes to show they didn't have at some point in times those effective communications, those conversations of, the difference in growth and things like that. People grow out of love, and things can build up, thoughts can build up. And if people choose not to share, those things, sometimes people take it as nagging or whatever. But if a person says, you know what, I don't like you anymore, I don't love you anymore, I'm not in love with you anymore, your growth is not where I want to be, um, combined with, and divorce at that point is an option, or a conversation at least.
Yeah, so a situation like you're describing, I mean, I would believe that there are so many other things underneath that I don't like you, I don't love you anymore. There's so many things built up that, again, like you're saying, weren't even said.
Yeah.
That yeah, those two people. I mean, and if they're both at that place, then yeah, do what you got to do.
Hmm.
Because they've both essentially neglected the relationship so long in terms of the communication in the relationship that and they're neither one of them are willing to actually put the effort in to make the relationship worthwhile. So yeah, do what you got to do by
Yeah.
all means.
Yeah.
Because the reason I initially answered your question the way that I did is because if two people are willing to put in the effort and the work, I believe they can make any relationship work. But if they are at that place where if you don't even like this person, that you're not even going to put in the effort to make it work, then why waste your time? Why waste anybody's time?
Right. I try, we've had conversations like that with couples, and my first thought after hearing, I just don't like him or her anymore. And I was thinking to myself, well, are you sure that they still like you? And
Yeah.
it's therapy an
Hmm.
option, because it's helpful. It's helpful to understand self and, your marriage and your bond, and possibly trying to get it back together. However,
Right.
if you've done, like you stated before, if you've done the work, if you acknowledge the difference, had the conversations, put in the work, added therapy to it, you know
Hmm.
then, possibly divorce is a thing. However, just remember that divorces aren't always final.
Hmm.
You can go your independent way, you can divorce, go your independent way, and you can also find your way back to each other,
Yep.
where you can like that person again you
Yep.
know
Yeah, and you're right. And so that's again kind of why I initially answered the way I did, because I believe, you saying you don't like this person, that just creates more questions for me. What does that mean? You don't like this person. That didn't just happen overnight. So you're gonna have to explain to me why you're saying to me today you don't like this person when on whatever date you said that you more than like this person. So that's gonna need more meaning to me, um
Li-
of don't like the person, to really dive into, for me to even comfortably say to a person, yeah, you should proceed towards divorce. Because if you can say I don't like the person, but then you can't actually give me any real supporting anything as to what you really mean by that, then have you really thought about this?
well, they might give a list. I just don't have like
Yeah.
I mean, I can make up some stuff,
Right.
that goes through that's been through that situation. Um I had a conversation like this with another couple, my cousin and his wife, and when I said that to them, both of them frowned, and I was like, I get it. I mean, I know that divorce is not, a subject for y'all. I get it. I'm just
Hmm.
talking about the conversation. And another thing I noticed is your movement when I said divorce, and then I never hear Lady Iceberg in the background, and she's shuffling stuff around and moving. Listen, it's no disturbances here. No, only peace, only
Right.
peace, and
Right.
marriage, growth, and healthy relationships, and a healthy dynamic. However, it's okay to let your partner know your likes and dislikes as things go along. And it's not like a nagging thing. It's like, hey, babe, let me talk to you about, some things that I've noticed, and it would be helpful to me if you could, alter these things, or help me understand you better, through this change that I see within you, you know?
That That is communication. What have I said? Study your partner.
Yeah.
The only way you can study your partner is to understand their likes and dislikes. Sometimes it's asking them. Sometimes it's allowing them the space to tell you.
Right.
You know, allowing them to safe space. They like to joke about safe spaces on YouTube all the time, but your partner should have a safe space to come and talk to you about these things. And if they don't feel like they have that safe space, then that's a part of the effective communication that is lacking and could be the catalyst for this. I don't like you anymore, or I don't like this person anymore, because you don't even provide a safe enough space for them to express how they feel when you're doing something that bothers them. You know?
That definitely makes a difference. You had another one on there about living together but separate. I mean, living together but living separately.
Yeah.
I've only encountered 2 couples. My aunt and uncle, they are married. However, they live in separate rooms.
They older?
They're older, yes. And that is the benefit for them now. You know, he snores, she snores, but they can't stand each other snoring.
Yep.
And it's just the dynamics of the health in the relationship. You know, she's not at her healthiest state. He's not at his healthiest state. So bedtime might not be, you know, as comfortable. One likes a soft mattress, one likes a hard mattress now, when they used to, you know, enjoy the same kind of mattress. So for them, for the years, it's worked out. Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen that before in couples as well, typically older couples. And well, first off, it was an old school way of living at one point. I mean, it was just kind of the norm that they didn't necessarily, you know, sleep in the same beds in certain cultures and stuff like that. But beyond that, what you were talking about with the snoring thing, that becomes a big issue, and the mattress, you know, comfort and that stuff, that apparently becomes a big issue. We are not at that place. I don't know that we will ever get to that place, because I really enjoy sleeping next to my wife. So I don't, and neither one of us snore either right now. So I don't, I hope we don't ever get to that place, because I'm not looking forward to sleeping in the bed alone. But again, that's where it is important for people to not care about what the outside world thinks about their marriage. Because if it is more beneficial to your marriage for you and your spouse to sleep in separate beds because you're keeping him or her up all night, and that's making him or her cranky the next morning and not wanting to deal with your ass, then you probably should just get a different bed, sleep comfortably, live your life comfortably together, and be happy, and let the rest of the world kick rocks.
Right. Because that's what they do. They still maintain everything. It's just when it's rest time, when it's
exactly.
Bed, then she has her room and he has, you know, his. And they listen, over the years they've made it work.
Yep.
You know, and some of us in the beginning didn't understand it. You know, when we were younger, we were like, how is that even possible? And there's what you were speaking about again. Not everybody needs to know all of your married business. You know, something just for y'all.
Exactly.
You know, for y'all to understand, for y'all to relate to. And it's not for anybody else to relate to if they're not, you know, in your situation or have a say so in your marriage, you know?
Yep. 100%. 100%. Just Jay says she doesn't think distance is the issue because that would have been expressed, and she dates guys that are vocal and don't sugarcoat anything.
Okay, just hit the link. Come on here. The link is canned. Come on here, hit this link, because we done went through Clingy. We done went through. Come on up here, Ladybug. Come on.
Yeah, we need to know what you're talking about, Just Jay.
Yeah, I need to hear from you, babe, because we're trying to help and we're grasping at straws, and I appreciate the question, you know, and the input. I really do. I just, you know, I'm just trying to understand a little more. So hit the link.
Jamel Fareed said he just need a woman that's faithful for real. Well, so Jamel Fareed, here's the issue with that statement. You need a woman that's a whole lot more than that. And you're going to have to be honest with these women out here, because her just being faithful ain't enough. She going to need to be a whole lot more than just faithful, bruh, to be actually satisfying to you in your life. So you got to really put it out there. Communicate to the women in your life what it is that you really need from them. because they have needs from you as well. And hopefully they'll feel comfortable communicating what they need from you. You know, you need her to be faithful. She needs you to pick up your socks off the floor or something. I don't know, you know.
What does that faithful mean? Like when you use that word, Jamel, and hi to you. When you use that word faithful, for real, I'd like to know if you care to expound on that. You know, faithful comes in a lot of different shapes, forms, and fashions. So you're faithful. What does it look like? You know, and anybody in the chat, don't forget, you're more than welcome to hit the link and add to the
Absolutely.
conversation. We want to hear from you.
We do.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments in the chat and everything like that. So if you're more comfortable in the chat saying your comments, that's fine too. However, hearing you, I can get a little better understanding of what you're saying or what
Right.
you're saying. You
And
know,
like I said, nobody here is here to try to change anybody's mind. Nobody is necessarily right or wrong here. We're just having conversation from our experiences because everybody's individual situation or relationship is going to be different. Your partner is different from my partner. So I cannot, you know, with 100% accuracy tell you what you need to do, you know, for your partner. That's why you have to be a student of your partner so you understand the things that make them go.
right? I like clarity on your words because what
Mhm.
I think faithful may look, sound, seem like, you know, you may have something different um, for your explanation. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm not sure if he's going to respond, but let me just throw something out there then. Faithful. So he just needs a woman who is faithful. Let's say this is coming from a perspective of a man who has been cheated on more than one time by different women, let's say. So maybe his definition of faithful is a woman who is going to, you know, not be going around doing other things. But for me, that would ask me the question of where are you when all of this is going on?
He busy.
Busy doing what?
Working, life,
I
read,
mean,
work.
because for real, if you're going to work and then she's going out and cheating on you, you know, doing other things with other people, why is that? You know, is she not being satisfied at home? Not trying to take any shots, but is she not being satisfied at home? Does she not have self-control? Are these previous relationships that she doesn't need to be attached with anymore, but she's just not the right woman for you in this instance? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It would lead me to ask all of these types of questions. So like you say, Lovelace, you know, having them, and again, it's not a grilling. It's just, these are realistic questions to try to get to the root of whatever it is the real issue, let's say here.
Mhm.
You know, because again, saying that you want a woman who is faithful, that's so vague in general and has so many different meanings. What does it really mean? Let's dig down to the actual root of what is happening to make you say that.
Yeah, yeah. Because past relationships and their um, experiences can, you know, bring back memories and bring back a sense of, you know, I need to put extra what's the word, iceberg? I need to put extra stuff attached to you so I
Hmm.
can feel, you know, comfortable or safe or secure.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know the right word to put right there, but it all goes back to effective communication. When you're getting to know someone, and then when you know you can put some more trust in that person to say, you know, I have been cheated on and it didn't feel good, and I don't want it to happen again. So if you're the type
Yes.
of person in your you know in your space right now and you feel like outside friends or making new acquaintances and taking it further is something that you're still involved in, then you know you just respectfully decline moving that relationship past a friendship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. It keeps coming back to the same key word that you keep saying, Lovelace, and it really is the key to all of it. Effective communication. It's
Yeah,
the key to all of it.
yeah, we got to be able to talk to one another, and feelings are okay.
Hmm.
All the feelings are okay as long as a description, pretty much detail description, goes into that space to let your partner understand, you know, where you're coming from.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we got one more video. And then if we don't get any more comments or anything, we're gonna get up out of here. This goes along with a lot of what we've been discussing, Lovelace. So we'll play this video and then have a little conversation on the back end.
Okay.
Learned in 28 years of being married is that you only need two things to make a relationship work, but it's the biggest things, period. You have to have two people who want it to work. And if you look back on any relationship where you either broke it off or they did, you will see that one of you stopped wanting it to work way before the relationship ended.
You stop choosing to want to participate, trying, give a shit, make an effort.
And that's the second thing. You got to both be willing to work on it. And what I want you to imagine the next time you think about a relationship is imagine a teeter-totter on a playground. Because what's going to happen in your relationship the entire time you're together is the teeter-totter is going to go up, it's going to go down. There are going to be times you're going to be in balance. And the most important thing about making that teeter-totter work is that you're both on it. The second one of you leans back or steps off,
sure.
And it's very helpful to see it that way, because you can even ask yourself if you're in a relationship, am I even on the damn teeter-totter right now? Or did I already step off?
Yeah.
Because if you're questioning it, you're probably already gone. And if you're questioning them, they're probably already gone.
Yeah, so, some of what we were talking about earlier when you said, that I don't like you anymore, that type of stuff. Is that person even still participating? Are they a willing participant in this relationship anymore? Are they actually putting forth any effort to, give anything to the relationship? Are they just a dead rock on the teeter-totter? Are they actually using their legs to, help push up and all of that?
Mm-hmm. It's a balance, right? Because sometimes some people say, a marriage is 50-50 or whatever. And it's not always that. Sometimes if you step off the teeter-totter, as long as you find your way back, you have to have patience. That person is still an individual with their individual growth, individual understanding of themselves at that time. And also try to allow your partner some room into that and have that communication, be that safe space for your partner to say, you know what? I used to be super sure of myself, had things in line. And now I'm not so much. And hopefully you'll have a partner that says, I got you. I got you. Everything comes with a time limit. I went through that with when I lost my mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel whole.
Yeah.
I didn't feel enough. I felt scared and lonely. And I have what I think is one of the best guys in the world, and he was patient with me and still is when I have my moments of alone time. And we talked about that. It's not that I don't want to be next to you, around you. I don't want to offer you any of these negative emotions or whatever you want to call those type of emotions that, I've got to be able to get a hold of myself, and you're not totally responsible for helping me find my way, back to, the understanding,
Right. You understand the power of energy, and you understand the power of energy that you bring. And if you bring a certain type of energy to your partner, you're bringing that energy into your relationship.
Correct.
And you don't want to bring certain energy into your relationship, so therefore you don't even want to bring it to your partner's foot, to his feet. You want to keep it away. You want to go process it, if you need to go yell and scream at a wall or whatever, you can go do that and do what you need to do to process your thoughts, and then come back to that relationship, the version of yourself that you want to present to your partner, even if you're still not that whole version of yourself, because you know that if you're the 80% version of yourself, he is more than willing to be 120 to make y'all the 200 that y'all are.
Correct. Absolutely. And he's, he had his days. Look at him texting me now.
Shout out to the brother.
Hey, babe. But yeah, he's willing to be patient with me, and I appreciate that. And vice versa. He has his moments where it's just leave me be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily me taking on that responsibility of what did I do to make you say leave me be. It's for me to ask him, do you need anything? Can I get you anything? And when you're ready for me, to sit beside you, sit in the next room. I mean, sit in the next chair or whatever, be in your space. That's okay too.
Right.
We've had to learn that part because we used to be like, hey, we together. You turn over, we turn over.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's also those moments of the foundation that we've built with one another to, like you said, study your partner, and get to know their moments of alone time. And it's okay. And it does not speak loud that they don't want you or they don't want, you in their space. It's not you, it's also them as well.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Because, I mean, we have to remember, we come in this world as individuals. Yeah, if you're a twin, you still are an individual person. You have your own personality and all of that. So we still have to have our time as an individual. Just because we have a partner does not mean that we are not still our individual. We still have all of the experiences, all of the traumas, all of that stuff that we deal with. And it is not our partner's responsibility. And as the partner, like Lovelace is saying, we have to understand that if your partner needs that space, that time to process or whatever it is, it's okay. And you be the supportive participant of them having that space. Like Lovelace said, okay, is there anything I can get for you or do for you? If they say, no, I'm good, then leave them to their space. Don't keep nagging them. Don't keep coming back and all of that stuff. If it's been a long time, you may just pop in, just checking, making sure you're still good, but don't, be up their butt and stuff. Let them have their space. Let them have their time. Let them process, because again, alone time is time that we all need.
Right.
Shout out to Nick Lee, the godly man. We're not going to be here another hour and a half, bro, but we will definitely, you're welcome to hit the link anytime. Even if I'm talking on another subject, you're welcome to hit the link and stir the conversation back to this topic, because I can talk about this topic anytime. I mean, I'm really just doing all of this off the dome. I don't have notes. The only notes I was looking at is what videos I was going to be playing. But
we good at this.
yeah, this is all off the dome here, talking about the marriage and all of that stuff. So yeah, we can do this anytime, Nick Lee. I definitely want to have the conversation with you because you're one of the people who was wanting this conversation to be had. But I'm not going to be here another hour and a half. And I know you at work. Salute to you, brother.
I know you lying. Now, Nick, Nick Lee said an hour and a half, sir.
Yeah, he said he at work for another hour and a half. So
enjoy work, dear.
Yeah. Enjoy work. I'm not going to be here that long. We probably about to get up out of here in a few minutes. Mom Boss, you out the car, you enjoying the convo? I appreciate you, Mom Boss. Appreciate everybody who's enjoying the convo, who participated in the convo. Definitely appreciate Lovelace and all the insight she brings, because without you saying some of the stuff you said, I would have forgot some of the stuff I was supposed to be even presenting. For real.
Yeah, I got you covered. And I appreciate the time and you allowing me to hit the link as well.
Absolutely. Hey, you're always welcome. I welcome having a co-host because it keeps me from having to do all of the talking. And it really, I mean, this is supposed to be a dialogue. It's supposed to be a conversation about these topics. So you help keep the conversation going, and maybe you being on the panel helps other people feel more inclined to ask their questions in the chat as well. So I definitely appreciate you, and I thank you for your time, and salute to the brother for allowing me and us to have some of your time, because he's texting you because I know he want to spend some time and be clingy with his boo.
He wanted to know what we were eating for dinner. Look at him.
Hey, that's important too. Hey, the brother got to be fed, man. And I'm not trying to keep him from eating.
Absolutely. And shout out to your wife as well for allowing you this time. We appreciate you always. And,
absolutely.
That time is genuine. And I appreciate you and your wife as well for allowing these conversations to take place and us taking up some time. Thank you both.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you as always.
Thank you. I'm going to hop down.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's Lovelace, y'all. Lovelace in the building. I appreciate Lovelace, y'all. She is definitely a great co-host to have on the subject. She brings a lot of insight, different perspective. Obviously, she's a woman, so it's that different perspective. And then she's coming from a perspective of A couple that is not married on paper, but they got all of the necessary paperwork in place to protect themselves for sure. Salute to them on that. I think she's gone. I'm gonna drop her down. Yeah, shout out to Lovelace, y'all. It's definitely appreciated. Shout out to Just Jay. I appreciate your questions that you were asking in the chat from a single woman perspective. Definitely helped the conversation. Shout out to Mom Boss in here with her 13 years, her and her boo. They said they ain't worried about none of the courthouse and all that nonsense. And again, it's not for everybody. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just happy that y'all have a successful relationship for 13 years. That's what's important. Y'all are raising y'all's children in a successful relationship. Paperwork be damned. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate everybody that came and hung out with me. Everybody who popped in, whether you just popped in, hit the like button, or, you know, commented in the chat, any of that good stuff. It is all greatly appreciated, y'all. It makes the conversations worthwhile. Salute to everybody who hit that like button. Feel free to drop a comment afterwards if there's another subject, or, you know, if you want to have another topic on another live stream on another type of relationship topic or whatever. Hey, please feel free. I already got some that I'm looking at. Check my DMs. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. What I got? What I got? Hold on, y'all. I'm reading the message. Hold on, y'all. Just Jay, what do you want me to do with this information? Okay, all right. So I'll finish reading that later then. I was gonna say, what do you want me to do with this information? Carl Bell, a salute to you, bro. Appreciate you coming in. Nah, I'm not gonna read it out loud. Shout out to y'all. We about to get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody who came through. Everybody had the opportunity to hit that like button. Everybody who got in the chat, please feel free to leave a comment afterwards. Like I said, gonna be getting a little busy doing the stuff with the house and all of that, but I'm still gonna try to make sure I come back and, you know, see y'all at least once a week. Y'all see me in other chats, of course. That's not gonna change, but me being able to take the time out to set up a stream and all that stuff, it may get a little bit thin sometimes, but, you know, it's going to be all good. Mom Boss, you said y'all been through so much together, your granddad passing, then your brother, then his mom, then your dad, another brother, now nephew, lost a favorite aunt. So y'all have had a lot, y'all have been together during a lot of, you know, tough times, turmoil times, you know, a lot of loss, and y'all have been the rock and support for one another, it seems like, through it all, man. Again, shout out to you for having a good one and a rider, you know, through it all. Shout out to that. For real. Shout out to that, because it's, as you see, sometimes it's hard for people to find a good one, you know. One that's going to ride with them, go through all of that stuff, be their support system when, you know, they're dealing with all of that. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me make sure this is the right one. All right, we got Lovelace back. What's up, Lovelace?
What you mean you're not gonna be? I had to get my tears together. Wait a minute. What you mean you're not gonna have time for us? We need you on.
Look now.
We need you on the YouTube.
Look, we got to get this house built, man. That is definitely a high priority.
You're not gonna have no time for
I'ma have time. It just be a little different, you know. Like I said, I'm gonna try to turn some of that stuff out there into some content. So, you know, I'll be able to go live out there, show y'all some stuff. We can still have conversation and all of that. But
oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be around. It's just, you know, doing these shows and stuff, you know, it takes some time to set up sometimes, and you know, so I'ma hopefully still be able to get a once a weekend, but, you know, there may be a week here and there that I got some other things. Like I thought I was not gonna be able to do today's show because I had to go out there and stake the land, but I'm not doing that till Friday now. So, you know, we was able to get today in.
Okay. I was thinking maybe once, you know, once a month.
I mean, Yeah, I'll definitely be able to go at least that, but I'll probably be more than that still. Yeah.
That's all they get. That's all. Listen,
Okay.
that's all they get.
Hey, y'all hear Lovelace, y'all.
Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe.
Hey.
Show Iceberg Thoughts that his channel to you means something.
There you go.
Support, show up, get into the conversation. If he drops the link and wants to have an adult conversation, then let's be able to have that. I mean, come on. I see y'all other places mixing, no. Yeah, but these conversations are just as necessary as all the other ones that may go along. So I support you, brother. Whenever these type of in any type of conversation you're having, I'm definitely wanting to be present for, because I know the value I'm going to get out of what you're saying.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gone.
And shout out to Mom Boss. Hey, Mom Boss, that's a great idea. And I'm going to take your advice on that. Mom Boss said for me to do shorts on the house being built. You should like get your money, turn this into content that you just upload instead of live. Hey, Mom Boss, you got a great point there. And I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to take a video. I'm definitely going to do videos at a house, process being built, do them uploads and all that. Yes. And I know you know what you're talking about on that. For sure. So I'm definitely going to do that. Shout out to y'all. All right, we're going to get up out of here, y'all. Yeah, so y'all definitely see more uploads whenever the house is being built and stuff. We're really getting ready to start the process, so I should be able to film it from start to finish. I mean, digging the well, all of that good stuff, y'all. So, yeah. Hey, Carl Belton, you ain't lied there. I ain't going to miss nothing on these YouTube streets. You have never lied. But yeah, but I feel the need to tell y'all my people, y'all listen to me. And if y'all see me a little scarce, that's what's going on. But I'll definitely keep y'all in the loop via video uploads, community posts with pictures and stuff like that. So y'all can see the process of the house being built. And really, the channel may turn into a lot more of that, because once the house is built and we're out there, I'm going to be doing stuff out on the land all the time. So, I mean, I really probably gonna have as much time to do live streams. It's gonna be probably a whole lot of uploads, me doing stuff on the land, the house being built. We're gonna be constantly doing stuff out there. So, hey, shout out to y'all. We getting up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday evening. Do something good for yourself and do something good for other people. Once you do something good for yourself, do something good for somebody else, man. It'll make you feel good. It'll spread some good karma out there in the world for you, and that will come back to you. You don't know when, you don't know where, but that good karma will come back to you. So make sure that you do something good for yourself and then go do something good for somebody else. I appreciate you, Mom Boss, and everybody who's saying congratulations on the house process. Yeah, we're going to take y'all along for the ride on that. We're going to make some content out of that. So, yeah, protect your peace at all times. Like Lovelace says, you are worth it. Just Jay, absolutely not. Absolutely hell no, Just Jay. But shout out to everybody out there. Y'all make sure y'all have a wonderful evening. Until next time, good people, this is Iceberg. Salute.
Now, as they say in your country, let us be out.